Over here, I've been clearing a lot of trees to get them off the roof so we can start putting that metal on. But just being around this area, we've been keeping an eye out for mushrooms, trying to learn more mushrooms, and we saw these and started looking them up. And it looks like these are chanterelle mushrooms. Claire and I did a bunch of research on these, looking at the kinds of gills they have, which are not true gills. And the other day, the ones we found were a little older, but these are fresh and new. So I'm really excited to pick these, and I'm gonna try them out. We have a friend that says, hey, there's hospitals everywhere, so try out your foraging, because if it goes wrong, you're covered. I won't mention her name. Okay, once I done ready for roofing over here, and then I'll put a little flashing that'll go in between. It'll go here between the roof and the siding, probably going right up. I might have to cut out around these windows for that flashing. Nice kind of rustic look. I'm thinking we probably are going to stain it. And all these gaps, I think you can see in between some of the boards, we're gonna put some slats, or what do you call it? Battens. We're gonna put some battens over those cracks. All kinds of stuff going on in the kitchen this morning. Here was some French toast happening. And here's my chanterelle mushrooms, which I have never tried before, and we worked really hard to make sure we identified it properly, and it's identified properly. So now I'm gonna cut them up and put them in a pan and try them this morning. Hopefully it's a good morning food. Yeah, if I don't make it, then Cindy will do the next video where she explains what happened to me. So, a big mushroom and a small mushroom, and it made this tiny little bit of food. 4 or 5 times the size of this fork. So here we go. I like the texture. It's, I don't know, it's that mushroom texture you're used to with just regular grocery store mushrooms. And the flavor is definitely good. Mm-hmm. Claire had mentioned that she found some smoked salt in our cabinet the other day, so I'm gonna try putting a little bit of that on it. It's already got salt on it. It could handle just a tiny bit more salt. But this smoked salt is really strong, so I'm gonna be careful. If I can see it. I don't know, the mushroom has enough flavor that I'm not really tasting the salt that much. That is a really good mushroom. I think you could, anything that would have mushrooms in it, you could put that in it. So the chanterelles were so good. Now I'm out here hunting mushrooms. Look, I got all these. And there's some right there. These look really nice and big. So it doesn't have true gills. It's got these just, what would you call it? Grooves or raised gill-like lines. So these that I'm finding right this minute are a lot more all in one place than most of these other ones that I found. There is a similar look-alike mushroom called a jack-o'-lantern, and it grows in groups. So the ones I just now pulled up, they are 2 mushrooms together, and that's not really the kind of group that those jack-o'-lanterns have. The jack-o'-lanterns grow in a true cluster with lots of mushrooms. But definitely educate yourself before you go out and start getting mushrooms, or just find a mushroom and pick it, bring it in and see if you can figure out what it is. And if you can't, then you don't know what it is. Certain times of year, different kinds of mushrooms. I really wanted to find some morels this year, but I just wasn't finding any. I didn't really do a lot of looking because I was just so busy. And I'm busy now. This one looks kind of chewed up, not so fresh. I'm gonna leave these here and hopefully they'll get some spores back in the ground for us for another time. I think I see some down here. They look older also. I'm mainly finding them by color because they really have a distinctive orange color. And this one looks pretty chewed up. It's kind of big. It might be worth getting anyway. Oh, here's some more that are kind of fresher looking. I need my spiderweb stick. Oh, well, there's a couple right there that are really good. Kind of weird and, I don't know, not really chewed up. Wow, I'm filling up this bucket pretty well. I got them all cleaned up. This is a 2-quart measuring dish. So that's nice, 2 quarts. After the bottoms of the stems have been cut off and any little spots that don't look too good and all that got trimmed off. That's a bunch of mushrooms. I'm starting to put this roofing on out here. So we have started covering up this gap with some boards. And Claire is helping me. So she's down where I've already put some roofing on. I can't get under there. So Claire is down there screwing in those boards. And then starting again over here, I'll be able to put those boards in because I'll still be able to reach them since I haven't covered the top up yet. I suddenly realized, oh no, don't put on the roofing until you get these areas closed up. But we're gonna leave this opening, this opening, this opening, and this opening so that we'll have some airflow in this front half of the barn. I'm starting to work on making some stair stringers. I'm going to cut out my own stair shape and then put the treads on them. And so I love YouTube. There's always a good video that shows you how to do stuff. So I'm following what a video says to make my jig to mark out each of my steps. I did my math here where I figured out I want to come down 66 inches from the loft up at the top of the barn down to a platform, which will be my halfway point to go the rest of the way to the ground. So that height is 66 inches. So each of my stair rises, so it's called a riser, is going to be 7 inches, 7 1/3 inches. It's about 7 5/16. And then I'm going to do each tread at 10 inches. That's good standard size. I'm going to have a little, when I put my boards on there, it's going to stick out about 1 inch beyond the step. Actually, I realized if I go this way, I'll have less cuts to make, so I might keep it simple. I cut myself a little board to attach this to create a little guide. I put a couple screws in it, so now I can just lay this on my board and I can draw my stair. I don't even have to know what angle it is or anything. Get the idea. That's a lot of stairs. Now let me cut it out. So I cut all the lines with the circular saw. Some of them fell out, but this little piece needs to be taken out. Sometimes I will cut further on each side and it'll just fall out, but that weakens this area, and this area needs to stay strong so your stairs don't crack. So I'm gonna finish the rest of this with the handsaw. So now I'm testing where the stair goes, and I'm putting it down to the imaginary platform. This is the technical way that you put in a stair. Sometimes in the evening we sit out and look at the sunset. I just come down in the golf cart and park out by the road where everybody can drive by and see us. One car every maybe average. Trying out the solar powered lights. I do have a work light down there, which is a lot brighter, but they're working really well. They're all charged up, and it's a nice light. It's not quite enough to really light up the room if you're gonna try to read a book or something. But it's nice for just sitting and talking.